Okay, today's date is April 19th, 2022. I want to show you and explain some of the maintenance things that you will need to do on your vacuum cleaner regularly. And I would say about once every 6 months to a year, you should go through and check the filters, check the bag, check the belt, check everything. And this is often one of the things that I get asked a lot is, how can you get a vacuum cleaner to last, 15 to 20 years or more? It's just not possible. It's just not going to happen. My answer to that is, first of all, buy a good quality vacuum cleaner in the first place. Don't just run out to Walmart and get the cheapest vacuum cleaner you can find just because it's cheap. I mean, if that's all you can afford at the time, I understand that. Any vacuum cleaner is better than no vacuum cleaner, and it will get the job done. However, you want to try to find a decent vacuum cleaner, and Hoover is one that I do recommend. Even with what they make today, I'm not a fan of all of their products, but I will say that they are one of the better ones. If you can find a good used Hoover like this, it'll be fantastic because these really are built to last. Whether a vacuum cleaner costs $50 or whether it costs, $1,500, your vacuum cleaner should last you at least 10 years if you take good care of it. And this vacuum cleaner right here, I actually got used. I got it at Goodwill about a year ago for $16. And this one is about 10 years old. It's a 2012 model. And they don't sell this particular model anymore, unfortunately. I wish they did. They still have some really good models, but this is really a good option. So, regardless of what vacuum cleaner you have, it doesn't matter whether it's Bissell, Eureka, Hoover, Shark, Dyson, Kirby, Panasonic, Kenmore. The principles are pretty much all the same. I personally prefer bagged vacuum cleaners. I have used bagless in the past, but they're way more involved with maintenance. There's a lot more going on, and I don't know. It's just messy. It's not something that I really enjoy. So, first of all, you want to make sure that your bag stays changed. And this varies from household to household. If you only have one machine, it's probably going to last you about 2 to 3 months at least. If you have pets, it might be less. If you have kids, it might be less. It just depends on what kind of environment your household is. This one's about half full. I'm not going to change anything, but I'm just going to go over some of the things. Now, this is your pre-motor filter right here. And this is just a safety. this filter needs to be in place. If stuff gets past the bag or something like that, this will stop it from going down into the motor, which will damage your motor. As you can see, mine actually has stuff on it, so I need to investigate that and see what's going on. But you don't want to overfill these bags. That's another thing that I see commonly, is people just stuff these until they're hard as a rock. Do not do that, if at all possible. And I know it's easy to forget to check your bag sometimes, but you know, you want your vacuum cleaner to last, and the more dirt stays out of your motor, the longer your vacuum cleaner is going to last. The more airflow that you allow into your vacuum cleaner that is clean, the longer it's going to last. I mean, people think that motors just go out on vacuum cleaners for no reason. Well, it depends on how you take care of it. If you're running this thing with no bag in it, no filters or anything, you're going to fry your motor real quick. So, that's just something that you need to keep an eye on. And that white filter down in there, you have to have that in there. Do not, under any circumstances, run your vacuum cleaner without that, whether it has a bag or not. If your vacuum cleaner is bagged, never run it without a bag. Big no-no. Next is your exhaust filter here. Now, this one probably needs to be changed. It's kind of discolored. This Hoover, I'm going to go over a couple parts. Now, this is a new filter here. You see the difference there? What all it catches and everything. That's a brand new one. This is one that's been in here about a year. I'm probably going to be changing this pretty soon because it's in need of replacement. That's the part number if you're wondering. It's the Hoover Final Filter and 04. And that is the filter. The other thing here is this is the filter that we saw earlier under the bag. Now this is, these filters are cheap. That's the nice thing about these Hoover vacuums. They're so common. Parts are all over the place for them, and they're really cheap. So I think a 2-pack of these filters was like less than $5 on eBay. So yeah, let's see if there's a part number on here. Trying to get, even though I know quite a bit about vacuum cleaners, I don't know every part number out on the market. I really don't. People think I do, but there are some that I just don't know. So, but if you look for Hoover wind tunnel bagged upright parts, you should be able to find stuff like that. Now, if you have a Hoover wind tunnel self-propelled, this filter right here is like twice as tall, and it goes all the way up the side. This is not a self-propelled model. This is just a standard model. And yes. Now the bags that these Hoover wind tunnels use is the Hoover Type Y bag. And yeah, these are common. They're everywhere. You can find them at Walmart, eBay, Amazon. I do recommend these white fabric type bags. They're a tiny bit more expensive, but they really do filter out a lot of stuff. And these vacuum cleaners don't really have the best filtration, to be honest. They're not sealed. They don't have sealed filters and stuff. So, this is probably, if you want high filtration, like HEPA filtration, these white cloth HEPA bags are the way to go. It's no different than a Kirby or something like that. And so I do recommend those. And you can get Hoover Y bags everywhere. I mean, they're just all over the place and they're so common. And yeah. So, one other area that you want to look at is the underside of the machine. If I can get to it here. Now, this is the part that most people don't pay attention to, but it's very important. Very important. This roller brush is what gives you your carpet lines, and it gives you all the cleaning performance, because without this brush, you're not going to clean much of anything. It's just not going to happen. People think the suction is what matters. No. On carpet, it honestly is probably the second to third. You need airflow and agitation and all that. So there's 4 screws here. And you're going to remove those 4 screws. And yeah, it's now. And the belt style is the Hoover 160 belt. And even if your belt is not broken, they do stretch out after long periods of use, and they need to be replaced. So, trying to get this unscrewed here. I'm having a hard time. So, I'm trying to get a good video for you guys. Help people out. And this vacuum cleaner maintenance should be done on a regular basis. I see so many people throwing away vacuum cleaners because the belt breaks or it gets clogged or it's not maintained. Vacuum cleaners don't just work flawlessly with no attention. Just like you have to take your car in to get an oil change, well, your vacuum cleaner is no different. it needs service, it needs attention, and without that, you're not going to have good performance. And people wonder why vacuums don't last too long, but it's simple. It's just lack of maintenance. And especially in the times we're living in right now, with things getting more expensive, things kind of just not, so stable. Well, the last thing you want is to have to spend another, $100 or more on a vacuum cleaner if you don't have to. So this is your roller brush here. You can pop this out. Here's your belt. Still has really good tension. I'm not going to change that. It's still good. But you want to just get any hair, string, and thread out of here. These roller brushes can be changed. And they probably should be changed about every 10 to 15 years. Especially if the bristles really are short and stubby. They should be protruding out of the base plate here. So I'm gonna put that back in. So if you take something, see how the bristles are flexing as I have the screwdriver just flush against, so it's making contact with the carpet there. If it's not touching, a credit card or a screwdriver or whatever you use, then you need to replace that roller brush. Also, you want to make sure that the roller brush spins freely. Oops. I dropped a screw. Here we go. Yeah. So, as long as it spins freely with no resistance or minimal resistance, you're good. You do want to oil the end caps here, which I've already done a couple months ago. Put your screws back in. Now, I do have higher end vacuum cleaners, but most people don't. Most people just get, whatever they can find at Walmart or whatever, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Like I said, any vacuum cleaner is better than no vacuum cleaner. But, regardless of what price category your vacuum cleaner is, the same principles apply with maintenance. Change the belt, change the bag, change the roller brush every, 10 or 15 years. And again, some people argue, oh, you can't get 10 or 15 years out of a vacuum cleaner. Yes, you can. This is living proof right here. This vacuum cleaner made it to Goodwill within 9 years. And, and people think that because their vacuum cleaner doesn't perform as well, they need a new vacuum cleaner. Well, if you're not getting the best performance, you need to make sure that the hoses and the tubes aren't clogged up. And, like I mentioned earlier, you need to make sure that your brush is still making contact with the floor, because you can replace that brush and I guarantee you it's going to make it perform like new, and it is well worth putting a new brush in a vacuum cleaner. It is way cheaper. So, and newer vacuum cleaners are not made quite as well as the older ones were. I don't think they're necessarily horrible, but, you know, like everything else, they don't make them like they used to. So, and this one has a thing where the bag door likes to fall off sometimes. It only happens when it's leaned forward like that. But, you know, it is what it is, and it works. Have to put the camera down. Okay, so, yes. Now, this is another thing that you might want to do is lean it back and a lot of vacuum cleaners nowadays don't have headlights, but these older ones still do. Now, you can get these peg style bulbs, and they're car interior light bulbs, and you can get like a 10-pack on Amazon for really cheap. Excuse me. And they fit wonderful in these vacuum cleaners. I do not have one in there right now. I just have whatever bulb was in there when it was new. Probably when it was new. But on this particular one, to take the headlight lens off, got 2 screws. And a headlight isn't absolutely essential in a vacuum cleaner. I mean, it's really not. It doesn't affect performance. It doesn't do any of that. A headlight on a vacuum cleaner is just a tool to help you see in dark corners and around furniture, and things like that. I do prefer vacuum cleaners with headlights. I really do. Growing up, nearly every vacuum cleaner that I've used has had a headlight, and so you just lift this off. That's your lens, and this pulls out of the socket, and as you can see, it's pretty much the same design, and yeah. So this one still works, but I'm gonna push this one in and show you. It should fit. Yeah, there it goes. So it goes in there like that, and it should work. So after that, you just put on your lens here, and put in your screws. And all these tips will just bring new life into your vacuum cleaner. I mean, I've seen people with vacuum cleaners that are 25 years old, and I mean, there is a time and a place where you just need to replace your vacuum cleaner. I get that. You know, they have their lifespan. It's basically like a car. You can only, push it so far until it's just not worth fixing. But most of the time, you can fix these for really cheap. And, if you have any issue, man, this is not wanting to go in. I don't know. Yeah. This is real life, guys. It's not always easy. So, you don't want to cross thread, but sometimes it just is a pain and it doesn't want to move. Especially if your screws are rusted in there and it's really old. It can be a challenge. So and then you just put your vacuum cleaner back up and you should be good to go. Now, vacuum cleaner bags, you want to make sure that you keep those on hand. Some people are just worried about, oh, well, I just don't want a bagged vacuum cleaner because I just don't want to run out of bags. Well, my tip is always have vacuum cleaner bags on hand. Have at least 2 packages. As soon as you break into the second pack, reorder and have a new package coming. That way you will never run out. You'll just be one package ahead all the time. So anyway, I hope this was informative. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.